Subway has always presented itself as the healthier alternative to the big fast food chains. 10 years ago, the world calorie watched like never before, and Subway offered up some decent options. This was reinforced in their marketing strategy when they betted everything on an evil monster who lost a ton of weight on the Subway diet, and the world said, hey, that could be me. Then it unintentionally backfired on Subway when in 2015, this deadbeat scumbag was arrested and sent to jail for not long enough. Since then, Subway has found itself standing still in time. Today, consumers ask, where is my food coming from? Is it ethically sourced? And how many ingredients are in this product? For example, Subway's bread has chemicals in it that you can find in a yoga mat. And even though this chemical isn't a huge deal, just saying Subway's bread has the ingredients of a yoga mat is enough to make people think, I'm never putting that in my body. Subway hasn't really evolved with the world consumer. They haven't changed their menu in over 10 years, which explains the boom in sales for places like Chipotle, Jimmy John's, and Firehouse subs. In business, if you're standing still, you're falling behind the competition.
Ha ha! I am invincible! Invincible! Ow!
Even before this infected boil on the arse of society finally got arrested, Subway had a $300 million drop in US sales alone. And this sales drop for a company long touting itself as the healthier fast food option comes despite booming sales generally of healthy food products, and consumer spending on food increasingly being driven by health, even when it means higher prices. Well, Subway finally got the message. It was announced this year that Subway stores, for the first time in almost 20 years, will get a complete makeover. It will ditch the brick and subway car design that has long been associated with the chain. The new concept, which utilises brighter colours, sleeker furniture and better lighting, is an attempt by the company to improve the guest experience. Subway's hope is that the new spaces will be more inviting to consumers. But what about the food? Subway says it will be adding new menu items. Expect to see pico de gallo and gluten-free bread, amongst other things. Will it be enough for the world's largest food chain? Let us hope they meet all of our expectations.
That's it, I'm getting out of here.
Guys, today's challenge is the Subway Meatball Sub. Now, last time I lost to Subway, and Rob's bread has just come out of the oven, and I'm not very confident. I mean, I've got to give him credit. It looks amazing. Subway, you better bring it. Something about Subway sub, they just always smell so good. Look at that bread. Oh, it looks so good. Here are the meatballs. Oh, that looks pretty good. Looks all right to me.
So here's how you make a Subway meatball sub at home. In a large bowl, add the water, yeast, sugar, salt and olive oil, and let the mixture stand for 5 minutes. Add 1 cup of flour and mix for 3 to 5 minutes. Add an additional cup of flour and mix until well combined. Continue adding the flour 1/4 cup at a time until a soft dough is formed. The dough should stick to the bottom of the bowl but pull away from the sides. Mix for around 8 minutes in total. When the dough has come together but is still sticking to the bottom of the bowl, turn it out onto a lightly floured surface and knead until smooth. The dough should be very soft. Shape the dough into a ball and return it to the bowl. Cover the bowl and rest for 20 minutes. After 20 minutes, turn it out onto a clean surface and divide it into 2. Roll each piece of dough into a long loaf that's 12 inches long. Place the loaves onto a baking sheet lined with baking paper. Cover the loaves and leave them again for another hour. After an hour, brush the loaves with olive oil. Then, using a sharp knife, edge the tops to create that Subway bread look. Finally, sprinkle some dried oregano and freshly grated Parmesan cheese over the top. Roll the loaves over to coat all sides. Place into a preheated oven at 180 degrees Celsius or 350 Fahrenheit for 25 minutes. When the loaves come out of the oven, cover them with a clean dish towel to cool for at least 30 minutes. For the meatball sauce, in a saucepan over a medium heat, add 2 cups of tomato passata, 1 teaspoon of garlic powder, 1 teaspoon of onion powder, 1 teaspoon of mixed herbs, 1/4 teaspoon of red pepper flakes, and 1/2 teaspoon of salt. Mix well and leave to simmer, stirring occasionally for 20 minutes. Meanwhile, prep your meatballs. Into a large bowl, add the ground beef with an 80-20 fat content split. Add 1 teaspoon of salt and 1 tablespoon of olive oil. Roll into slightly smaller golf-sized meatballs. Then into a pan over a medium to high heat, add olive oil and sear the meatballs on all sides for 3 minutes. Transfer the meatballs to the sauce mixture and cook on low for another 10 to 12 minutes. To assemble, simply cut the bread and place 3 to 4 meatballs on each 6-inch sub. Top with the sauce and serve with any of your favourite toppings or cheeses. And now all we have to do is get stuck into this bad boy.
G'day, Shane.
Hey,
How you going?
not too bad.
You ready for some meatball subs?
Sounds like the plan.
Awesome, let's go.
Welcome, Shane.
Hey.
So mate, today we're doing the Subway meatball sub. Have you had one of them before?
Back in the day, yes.
Back in the day. Well, I'm gonna get you to pop that blindfold on, if you would. So you've got a 6-inch sub on the left and right of you. Shane, I want you to try the one on your right first, please. I didn't say you had to finish it. I said,
I'm just trying to get the meatball texture.
okay. You're licking your fingers, so that's got to be a good sign.
It's definitely got a rich texture through the sauce, and the meatballs are substantial. The bread's got a Italian herby sort of feel and taste towards it with the crusting.
So there's one on your left. Try that one as well.
Not as rich with the sauce and not as crusty with the actual bread itself, and not as herby as the previous.
What about the meatball?
Slightly smaller in size and just didn't have the same wow factor as the first one with the sauce.
So Shane, if you had to pick one, buy one, which one would you pick? Left or right?
I'd probably be opting for right.
Thank you, Shane. You can open your blindfold, take off your blindfold now. You can have a look. Which one do you think is Subway? Of course it is, look at it.
Well, you didn't really make it very fair. I mean, you're supposed to make it the same size meatballs and stuff. Like, really?
That thing looked like it's run over, it's been punctured. It looks like it's got a nail in the bottom of it. It's just collapsed.
Chose the one to the right hand side. There was substantial differences with the sauce, with the kick with it, and combined with the meatball and the crust of the actual bread with the herbs actually made it more substantial.
Well, did it again.
Of course I did. Mate, as soon as I saw that bread come out of the oven, I went, this is over and done with. This is.
You know what? Your bread was too dense.
Please.
It was too dense.
Well, it was better than that deflated garbage that you brought home.
Can't win them all.
You can't win them all. You can't win at all. Are we missing something?
Yeah, the kids.
They're not here.
One's asleep and one's at school.
Well, what am I going to do for the end of the video?